right, trailer produced by the Red Pill. We're about to go in now. Strap on your seatbelts. Make sure y'all go get what y'all got to get because it's about to get hot up in here. Even though we got the AC on right now, we getting ready to get right. Brother Red Pill.
All right. Let's do it. Let's get it in. All right. Let's begin this by defining what technology is so we're not, confused, because ignorant Negroes and people who don't have any knowledge of what they're dealing with will say technology is a white man thing. Okay? You need to sit down because that sounds super retarded. While you're on your smartphone or on live stream watching us, you're like, technology is the European shit. Okay. Etymology. The word technology comes from two Greek words, transliterated techne and logos. Techne means art, skill, craft, or the way, manner, or means by which a thing is gained. Logos means word, the utterance by which an inward thought is expressed, a saying or an expression. So literally, technology means words or discourse about the way things are gained. Contemporary usage. Lately, technology has come to mean something different. In one respect, the term has come to mean something narrower. The above definition would admit art or politics as means of gain. Yet, though those activities are permeated by technology now, most of us would not consider them to be examples or subjects of technology. In another respect, this definition is too narrow, for when most of us speak of technology today, we mean more than just discourse about means of gain. Working definitions. In this essays, I will refer to technologies in 5 different senses. Following are some working definitions. The technological process. First, technology is the rational process of creating means to order and transform matter, energy, and information to realize certain value ends. The significance of this definition will become clearer below. Technological objects. Second, technology is a set of means, tools, devices, systems, methods, and procedures created by the technological process. Technological objects range from toothbrushes to transportation systems. Technological knowledge. Third, technology is the knowledge that makes the technological process possible. It consists of the facts and procedures necessary to order and manipulate matter, energy, and information, as well as how to discover new means for such transformations. A technology. Fourth, a technology is a subject of related technological objects and knowledge. Computer technology and medical technology are examples of technology. A technological system. Finally, technology is a system consisting of the technological process, technological objects, technological knowledge, developers of technological objects, users of technological objects, and the worldview, i.e. the beliefs about things and the value of things that shape how one views the world. That has emerged from and drives the technological process. This is what Elo referred to as the technological system. In the remainder of this article, I will use all 5 senses, but when I use the term technology by itself, I mean the 5th and most comprehensive sense. Okay, so now I gave you an elaborate breakdown of what technology is. I will go on record by saying our brother Sanetta is a technological guru because he's utilized, right, technological objects in order to disseminate information to the world. Before there was a YouTube, the brother was known as a disruptor of the what? VCR era. Facts? Facts. His name was ringing bells in all different places because he was the brother that was in Harlem that had DVDs that was called technology. He brought a technological advance to the art of disseminating information on a lecture circuit. Okay? And by becoming a disruptor, he was able to corner the market because the other people who were dealing with VHS tapes did not catch up fast enough, and he took the market. Then when YouTube came, when the digital realm, the streaming service came, he was able to benefit off of that. Henceforth, we're here now on Sanetta TV, live streaming to hundreds and thousands of people. Okay? So, let me get into this.
You got the thing. You got the clicker.
I know.
Okay. Put this
All right, family. Real quick. KTL, Know the Ledge Radio. All right. Real quick, let me just give you a brief breakdown of Know the Ledge Radio. Know the Ledge Radio, Know the Ledge TV, KTL University. You can Google the brand. You can find out what we've been doing for 10 years on the network. We're not just some Johnny-come-latelys popping up on Sinetta TV. We've been on the front lines. We've been behind the scenes. We've been doing what it do for a very, very long time. Our work is our message. Okay, just go ahead and Google the work. I don't even have to. It sells itself. I don't got to promote what it do. Any teacher, any lecturer, anybody that you can think of, Know the Ledge TV, Know the Ledge Radio. All right, not up there playing games, not up there pontificating, giving grade A information.
Let the people know when you'll be back too.
All right, we took a hiatus on our radio show to restructure. We'll be back in the Scorpio season around our birthday. All right, so let's get right into it. Binary code as computing language. So the computing language as we know it is a binary code system. How do you scroll down to make it? All right, all digital data used in computer systems is represented using zeros and ones. Binary coding systems have been developed to represent text, numbers, and other types of data. We also recommend watching Binary Form in Music, Definition Examples, Blase Bloom. So all data on a computer system consists of binary information. Binary means there are only two possible values, 0 and 1. Computer software translates between binary information and the information you actually work on a computer, such as decimal numbers, text, photos, sound, and video. Binary information is sometimes also referred to as machine language, since it represents the most fundamental level of information stored in a computer system. At a physical level, the 0 and the 1s are stored in the central processing unit of a computer system using transistors. Transistors are microscopic switches that control the flow of electricity. If a current passes through a transistor, the switch is closed. This represents a 1. If a current doesn't pass through the switch, it represents a 0. Binary information is also used using magnetic properties. The two different types of polarities are used to represent 0 and 1s. An optical disc, such as a CD-ROM or a DVD, also stores binary information in the form of bits and lands. No matter where your data is stored, all digital data at the most fundamental level consists of zeros and ones. In order to make sense of this binary information, a binary notation method is needed, also referred to as a binary code. What I was just explaining is anywhere that you look inside of technology, anywhere that you look inside of computing, anywhere that you look inside of machines, there's a language that runs that. There is a foundation. That foundation is the binary code, okay? But we're going to show that the African origins of the binary code system means that the electronics and computers and all things electronic in this electrified age are working off of an ancient African principle. So let's go right here to the African origins of binary code. Next one. African origins of binary code. Digital hyperstition. Ron E. Glass, The Africa and the Origins of Binary Code. This is a Euro. The relationship between what we do as physicists today and the future that our work engenders is dialogical in the sense that not only do our present actions determine what our future will be, but we must be ever mindful of the impact of our present actions on the future. Through our moral responsibility and awareness of signals and trends, we in effect listen to what the future has to tell us. That's Donnell Walton, Chair, National Conference of Black Physics Students, 1995. Okay? Google him. While the temporal traditions of African societies were frequently cited by colonialists as evidence for primitive superstition, this is what they called it, primitive superstition. Whenever they either don't understand something or in the process of usurping our knowledge and our information, what did they do? They attached primitive superstition to it to get you looking the other way while they went ahead and renamed it and ran with it. They appear today in quite the opposite context. By alchemist divination practice of geomancy, Skinner 1980. But geomancy is clearly not of European origin. It was first introduced there by Hugo of Santalia in 12th century Spain, and Islamic scholars have been using it in North Africa since at least the 9th century, where it was first documented in written records by the Jewish writer Aaron ben Joseph. Okay. Geomancy is traditionally practiced by drawing patterns in the sand. That's called divining. It begins with 4 sets of random dashed lines. These are paired off, i.e. summed by additional module 2, and the even odd results recorded with 2 strokes or 1 stroke. 4 of these binary digits represents one of 16 possible divination archetypes: ruler, travel, desire, etc. Although the first 4 are generated by this random process, the following 12 are created by recursively applying the same pairing operation on the binary digits, making up the 4 symbols, a process which can be seen in many other areas of African knowledge systems. The nearly identical system of divination in West Africa associated with the Fa and the Ifa was first noted by Troutman, but he assumed that geomancy originated in Arabic society, where it is known as Ilm Al-Rami, the science of sand. The mathematical basis of geomancy is, however, strikingly out of place in non-African systems. Like other linguistic codes, number bases tend to have an extremely long historical persistence. The ancient Greeks held 10 to be the most sacred of all numbers. The Kabbalah Ein Sof emanates by 10, Sephiroth, and the Christian West counts its Hindu-Arabic decimal notation. In ancient Egypt, on the other hand, base 2 calculation was ambiguous, even for multiplication and division, and Blavatsky notes archaeological evidence linking it to the use of doubling in the counting systems of sub-Saharan Africa. Kutz notes that both Diodorus Siculus and Oberon reported that the ancient Egyptian priests employed an image of truth cut in halves. Doubling is a frequent theme in African divination and many other African knowledge systems, connecting the sacredness of twins, spirit doubles, and double vision with material objects, like the blacksmith's twin bellows and the double iron hoe given in bread wealth. In a recent interview in Wired, Brian Eno claimed that the problem with computers is they don't have enough African in them. I'm going to repeat that. In a recent interview in Wired, Brian Eno claimed that the problem with computers is that they don't have enough African in them. Enos was, no doubt, trying to be complimentary, saying that adaptive rhythm and flexibility is a value attribute of African culture, but in doing so, he obscured the cultural origins of digital computing and did an injustice to the very concept he was trying to convey. Take, for example, Henry Louis Gates' use of a recursive doubling description when discussing the relations between divination and sexuality in Western African traditions. The Faun and Yoruba escaped the Western surgeon of discouraging sexism through the action of doubling the double. The number 4 and its multiples are sacred in Yoruba metaphysics. Blue pill with the 44. Isu's twin sides, disclosed as hidden wholeness rather than closing of unity through the opposition. They signify the passage from one to other as sections of a submute whole. The binary coding of African knowledge systems, like that of their antecedents in modern computing networks, is neither rigid nor arithmetic. Its beat is a heritage heard by those who listen to the future. Next one. And I'm listening to future. Since the 1980s, Ron E. Glass has been documenting and studying the complex fractal systems evident in African braiding, Architecture and social society. I believe that it's worth sharing because in a time when there is a mad rush to equip Africans with computers and technology, here we see the brilliant understanding that already exists in these communities for fractal math and binary systems, and how that understanding is a part of the long-lived foundation of the social and spiritual makeup of these communities. By looking at aerial view photos and then following up with detailed research on the ground, Iglash discovered that many African villages are purposelessly laid out to form perfect fractals with similar shapes repeated in the rooms of the house, in the house itself, in the clusters of the house in the village, in mathematically predictable patterns. When Europeans first came to Africa, they considered the architecture very disorganized and thus primitive. It never occurred to them that the Africans might have been using a form of mathematics that they haven't yet discovered. Disclaimer: this is an organic presentation, meaning that the next time that you hear it, there will be additives. I will add on. This is an organic presentation, meaning that it will forever grow. It will forever add on. I just got a book called The Per Ankh, gifted to me by Dr. Layala Africa, where he talks about this. Okay? And then you also have Muatta Ashby, who has a book where he talks about this. Then I'm also have to go and study the ancient Asian tradition of what's the shit? No, not the I Ching, where they set the crib up. Fu Shuang. Okay? So, Feng Shuang. So, what I just described in that sentence is basically the European admitting that the ancient African traditions that they have convinced so many of our people was savage, okay, was primitive, all right, was a part of a cannibalistic, ignorant culture. These Europeans are showing you that, no, we were dealing with high forms of mathematics, not in the Nile Valley culture only, okay? Not only in that culture, but also in West Africa, also in other places in Africa. The people would say, oh yeah, well, we were doing our thing over there in these high civilizations, but them niggas was over there with savages. That they were savages and that they didn't contribute anything to society. I hear that a lot. They didn't contribute anything to the world. And I'm also showing you and establishing the Islamic Moorish origins of what it is that they've contributed to society that you benefit off of today. Scroll down for me, please. Go to TED and go watch the video. I don't care if you don't want it. It's a European. So what? Get over it. Okay? Knowledge is knowledge. The fucking book didn't close when you try to read it that the European wrote. Okay? The shit jumps off the page and it allows you to take it. So if they got information that you could benefit off of, go and get it. Okay? Stop acting all puritanical on me. I am a mathematician. I would like to stand on your roof. That is how Ron Iglash greeted many African families he met while researching the fractal patterns he noticed in villages across the continent. Go to TED on YouTube and watch the information, and you do your knowledge. Scroll down, please. The binary coding of traditional African knowledge systems, like that of their antecedents in modern computing networks, is neither rigid nor arithmetic. Its beat is a heritage heard by those who listen to the future. Binary and divination systems. Binary, divination, this for all the spooky niggas out here that don't even realize that you claiming Africa, you all African and everything, and the foundation and the basis of all things Africa are divination systems, magical spiritual tradition systems. Okay? So if you running around romancing and pontificating, but you haven't tackled this shit, you ain't even kill a chicken. What are you talking about? The fuck are you saying? You haven't even tapped into the real. You think the power's in the books. The power's in the unseen. The power's in the divination. The power's in getting in touch with the elements around you. And the power's in waking up the ancestors inside of you.